Hey guys, it's Jay. Welcome back to my channel, where we discuss the popular culture of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. So, I've already discussed the Battle of the Planets. It was an amazing cartoon, which was broadcast here in the late 70s. But later, in the 1980s, another Tatsunoko production made its way over from Japan. It involved a young man who donned a knight outfit in order to defend against invading aliens. What am I talking about? Well guys, today we're going to be talking about Tekkaman The Space Knight.
Tekkaman The Space Knight.
Our story begins in the year 2037. The Earth has become overpopulated, and the one world government, which now controls the Earth, has sent out spaceships in order to search for new planets, as the overpopulation and our pollution are becoming unbearable. Captain Barry Gallagher is sent out to explore the nearest planets to see if any of them can become habitable. On his journey, he encounters an unknown alien force. Unfortunately, without provocation, this alien force attacks Captain Gallagher's ship. His nephew, Barry Gallagher, being summoned to the control room on Earth, hears the last words of Robert, or Uncle Bob.
World Science Center from Space Angel. Our gravity control system has been deactivated. Everyone, to the escape ship!
Uncle Bob, come in! Come in! Barry is enraged by what he's heard. The fact that an alien force, without provocation, would attack an Earth ship. Barry is furious. He vows to find out exactly what happened. While he's in deep thought, Gary is suddenly summoned by Patricia Richardson to come see her father, the head of the World Space Organization. Edward Richardson meets Gary in his office, where he tells Gary that he wants him to be the new pilot of the Tekkaman space suit. Gary, not understanding what he's talking about, is introduced to Pegasus, a gigantic robot companion who houses the secret of the Tekka armor. Dr. Richardson explains to Barry that due to the aggressive nature of these alien beings, they have to have someone who can protect them and Earth from their invading forces. And he's chosen Barry to be that person. Barry begins his training. But before he can finish his training, an unknown alien craft lands on Earth, and a strange being comes out and starts to investigate the World Science Organization. After a mild scuffle, the stranger, calling himself Andre, tells Barry to try and learn how to pilot that toy robot properly. Barry, being quite miffed, storms off and back into the Science Institute. After finding that the aliens have attacked a space station, Barry is enraged. Storming into Dr. Richardson's office, he demands to be allowed to take this Tekkaman space armor and fight the aliens head on. Dr. Richardson is against this idea, but Barry goes ahead and launches the spaceship without his consent. After entering the region of space where the aliens have been known to be, Barry realizes that Patricia has stowed away on the ship and now serves as his co-pilot. Unfortunately, they're immediately attacked once they find the aliens. Barry runs to Pegasus and commands him to start the Tekkaman sequence. Barry undergoes the transformation to become Tekkaman and fights the alien horde head on. The Tekkaman armor is incredible. It defeats the enemies almost instantaneously, and Barry himself is in amazement at how strong he is while piloting this armor. Now triumphant, he returned to the spaceship to take care of Patricia. They both return to Earth and realize that someone is stowed away. It's Andre, who explains to them that the beings that they've been fighting are actually a race of invaders. Andre explains that these invaders call themselves Waldarians, and they will stop at nothing and have no treaties or remorse until the Earth has been conquered. This pretty much sets up the story for Tekkaman The Space Knight. Barry would end up defending the Earth multiple times from the invading forces of the Waldarians. We do know that they've taken over multiple worlds, including Andre's, whose world remains in slumber. But as soon as they thaw from their deep sleep, the Waldarians will attack. So Andre has come to Earth to try and gain forces to help defend against this menace, hoping to defeat them once and for all. I really enjoyed the series when it came out here in the 1980s. It was very different from anything else on television at the time. I spoke about this many times with other giant mecha series. The Japanese at the time were very obsessed with space dramas and intergalactic adventures, and this was no different. The main thing that differentiated this from something like Star Blazers or Space Cateers or anything like that was that aliens continued to come to Earth and were invading. And we, as a species, were able to develop the Tekkaman armor, which was strong enough to take on the forces of the Waldarians. It's not without its flaws, though. The series itself is very childlike. Barry is an extreme hothead. He will fly off the handle at the drop of a hat. He's extremely... just doesn't really have very good judgment. And whenever he's given advice, he tends to brush it off. When Andre is put into the scene, he actually becomes a good sort of counterbalance, as their rivalry eventually becomes a friendship. Dr. Edwards, of course, is the voice of reason, but he has a very difficult time controlling Barry. And the rest of the cast is very well supportive, but at the same time, a lot of the stories are extremely simple. Barry basically goes back up to space, or is the alien invasion comes to attack Barry. He fends them off almost like flicking flies off of a windscreen. Eventually, though, the forces of the Waldarians become stronger and stronger, and Barry, as well as Andre, and the rest of the forces of the Earth Nation have to figure out new and more sophisticated ways of defeating the Waldarians. Barry, whenever he transforms into Tekkaman, I remember as a kid being incredibly terrified of that. The transformation sequence is one where Barry is wrapped in what looks like thorn whips, and it doesn't just cover his body, it covers his entire head as well. And the look on his face while he's actually being transformed is one of sheer terror. So I'm looking at this as a kid thinking, what the heck are they doing to this guy? And to add insult to injury, after Barry is enwrapped and begins his transformation, the electricity starts to shock the suit, I suppose to power it up, and all you see is Tekkaman writhing in pain. His head is thrown back, he's struggling from left to right. It really was an actual torturous scene when you really think about it. So, as a kid, I was really kind of torn whether or not Barry was actually in pain or whether he was just donning a suit.
Inside the interlock chamber, Barry Gallagher transforms into Tekkaman The Space Knight.
But once he donned the suit, he became this invincible hero which could literally take out armadas of ships. So that in itself was a lot of fun. The production company which brought over Tekkaman The Space Knight here to North America did their best to keep as much of the violence in the show as possible, which was very unusual at the time. If you watch anything like Space Cateers or Star Avengers, you'll notice that Jim Terry Productions tried their best to censor, or at least lessen the violence that was in the show. Tekkaman went the opposite way. They did whatever they could to keep as much of the action in the show as possible. This forced them to write the script in a very humorous way. Every single time Barry, as Tekkaman, faces off against an alien, they're all referred to as robots. Now, it's probably cool when you say it once, "Oh, evil robot, time to die." The problem is, the way the series is cut. Barry pretty much says evil robot, alien robot, evil robot, alien robot, almost every single time he's about to hit somebody.
Where are those robots going? Space Lariat! Sorry, robot, this is a one-way street.
Anyway, all of its idiosyncrasies aside, Tekkaman was a wonderful entry into the anime series of the early 1980s. I really enjoyed it whenever I could watch it. Unfortunately, I really couldn't get home in time because it played just before I reached home from school. But whenever I was able to capture and watch a few episodes, I really did enjoy the series for what it was. Tekkaman The Space Knight was originally created by Kenji Yoshida and Ippi Kuri, and produced by Tatsunoko Productions. It was localized, translated, and rewritten for an American audience by William Winckler Productions. If you'd like to experience Tekkaman The Space Knight for yourself, I'm pretty sure there are no DVDs available, as the original series was slated for 52 episodes, but was cut short to 24 episodes in Japan for lack of interest. I also believe that William Winckler Productions only produced videotapes for the actual American localization. You might want to look on Amazon or eBay for any videotapes that might be still floating around. Anyways guys, that'll about do it from a look back at Tekkaman The Space Knight. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave me a like. It really helps me out. If you have any comments or questions or suggestions on anime, cartoons, toys, or anything else you'd like me to review, please leave that in the comment section below. And consider subscribing, as I have a lot more episodes on the way. Also, consider sharing this episode with someone who you think might enjoy it. Well guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. Check out some of the other episodes I've done. You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter